You're texting a girl you actually like. She takes 3 hours to reply. When she does, it's dry. One word, no energy. So you wait, you overthink, you wonder what you did wrong, then you text again, trying to fix it, and boom, she's gone. You just made yourself forgettable. Now imagine the opposite. She texts you first. She asks what you're doing tonight. She laughs at your jokes before you even finish typing them. She offers to drive to you. You didn't beg for it. You didn't convince her. Something shifted in the way you showed up, and suddenly everything changed. That's what this video is about. One shift in how you operate and women start treating you like you matter. Not because you're perfect, not because you said the right thing, but because you stopped doing the thing that's been killing your value this whole time. I spent 2 years breaking down what actually works with women. Not theory, not pickup lines, but real patterns I saw in guys who never struggled. Guys who weren't the richest or the best looking, but who always had options. And what I found changed everything for me. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what that shift is, why it works, and how to use it the next time you're with a woman you want. And listen, if you want to skip months of confusion and learn how to read what she's really thinking when she's testing you, and if she's actually into you or just keeping you around, grab my book, The Truth Detector. First link in the description. It'll save you from wasting time on girls who are never serious about you. But here's what no one tells you. When you meet a girl, she's not deciding if she likes you based on your looks or your job or how funny you are. She's deciding based on how you make her feel about herself. And the fastest way to make her lose interest, make her feel like she already won you over. Picture this. You match with a girl online or you meet her at a party. She says something, could be boring, could be basic. Oh, I'm from Austin, and your brain screams, say something, connect, show interest. So you jump in. Oh my God, I love Austin. I was just there last month. The food scene is incredible. We should totally go together sometime. You thought you were being enthusiastic. You thought you were building a connection. But here's what actually happened in the moment. You told her she doesn't have to work for your attention. She said 5 words, 5, and you're already planning trips with her. She knows you're impressed. She knows you like her. And because she knows, the mystery is dead. The game is over before it even started. Women are wired to chase what they can't quite figure out. Not cruelty, not disrespect, uncertainty. When a man is too easy to read, when he's too eager, when he hands over his approval before she's earned it, her brain shuts off. There's no challenge. There's no reason to keep thinking about you when you're not around. So, what happens? She starts pulling back. Not because you did something wrong, but because you gave too much too fast. And when you give your interest away for free, it loses all its value. But here's where it gets worse. Most guys, when they feel her pull back, they panic. They text more. They compliment harder. They try to prove their worth by giving even more. And that's the exact moment they lose her for good. Because now she's not just uninterested, she's turned off. There's a psychologist named Robert Cialdini who spent his career studying why people want what they want. One of the biggest things he found, people value what's hard to get. When something's too available, it loses its appeal. When it's scarce, when it requires effort, when it's not guaranteed, it becomes more desirable. Same thing happens with you. If you're too available, too agreeable, too easy to win over, she doesn't value your attention. But if you make her work for it, even just a little, she starts to see you differently. You become the guy who didn't fold, the guy who wasn't impressed by the usual stuff, the guy she couldn't quite figure out. And that uncertainty, that's the spark. That's what keeps her thinking about you when you're not there. But here's the shift, and this is the part you need to screenshot because it changes everything. Stop validating her before she earns it. I know that sounds simple, maybe too simple, but think about what you actually do when you're with a girl you like. She tells you where she's from. You light up. Oh, cool, I love that place. She mentions her job. You're impressed. Wow, that's amazing. You must be really smart. She shows you a photo. You compliment it immediately. You look great in that. Every single time, you're handing her your approval before she's done anything to deserve it. That just existing is enough to get you hooked. But here's what happens when you flip it. She tells you where she's from. You pause. You look at her for a second. Then you say, yeah? What's your favorite thing about it? No excitement. No rush to agree. Just curiosity. You're not giving her anything yet. You're making her explain herself. You're making her work. And in that moment, something shifts in her head. She's not sure if you like her yet. She has to try a little harder. And that creates tension. Real tension. The kind that makes her brain start spinning when she goes home that night. Wait, does he like me? Did I say something wrong? What does he think of me? That's the feeling you want her to have. Uncertainty about where she stands with you. Because when she's uncertain, she stays engaged. She stays interested. She keeps thinking about you. Now listen, this isn't about ignoring her or being rude. It's about not being so eager to hand over your approval that you kill the attraction before it even starts. But most guys think being warm and agreeable is the way to make her like them. They think if they're just nice enough, enthusiastic enough, available enough, she'll eventually choose them. But warmth without tension is just comfort, and comfort doesn't create attraction. It creates friendship, or worse, it creates the guy she texts when she's bored but never actually wants to see. Here's a real example. I have a friend, Marcus. Good looking guy, solid job, funny. On paper, he should do great with women, but for years he didn't. He'd meet a girl, things would go well at first, then she'd ghost. Every single time. But one night we're at a bar and I'm watching him talk to this girl. She's into him. I can tell. She's laughing, touching his arm, asking him questions. And Marcus is doing everything right, technically. He's engaged. He's asking her questions back. He's making her laugh. But then I notice something. Every time she says anything, literally anything, he agrees with it. She mentions a movie she likes. He loves it too. She says she hates a certain type of food. He hates it too. She talks about her job being stressful. He immediately validates how hard that must be. At first she was leaning in, but by the end of the conversation, she's leaning back, checking her phone, looking around the room. 20 minutes later, she's talking to someone else. Marcus comes back to me confused. I don't get it. We were vibing. What happened? He made himself too easy to figure out. She knew within 10 minutes that he was already sold on her. So why would she keep trying? Think about something you really wanted. A job, a goal, something you had to work for. Remember how good it felt when you finally got it? That's because the effort made it valuable. You earned it. Now think about something that was handed to you. Something you didn't have to try for. How much did you value it? Probably not much. Probably forgot about it pretty quickly. That's what happens when you validate a woman too fast. You become the thing she didn't have to work for, and she forgets about you just as quickly. But here's what changes everything. Make her earn your interest instead of giving it away for free. She tells you about her hobbies. Don't immediately praise them. Ask her why she likes them. Ask her what she gets out of it. Stay curious, not impressed. Let her prove to you that there's something real there. She sends you a selfie. Don't rush to say you're beautiful. Instead, notice something specific. That's a cool spot. Where is that? Make the conversation about the content, not just flattering her for existing. And here's the magic. When you do this, when you stop handing over your interest for free, she starts chasing it. She starts trying to impress you. She starts putting in effort because suddenly you're not like the other guys. You're the one who isn't easy to win over. You're the one who actually has standards. Now here's where most guys panic. They hear this and think, okay, so I just act uninterested. I play hard to get. I ignore her. No, that's not it at all. There's a huge difference between not being easy and being distant. One creates attraction. The other just makes you look like you don't care. And if she thinks you don't care, she's not going to stick around to find out. What you're doing is staying engaged, but selective. You're present, but you're not sold yet. You're interested, but you're not convinced. You're showing her that your attention is valuable, so she needs to bring something real to the table to keep it. She texts you. You don't drop everything to respond in 2 minutes. You reply when you're actually free, not 3 days later, not playing games, just when you're done with whatever you're doing, because you have a life that doesn't revolve around your phone. She asks you to hang out. You don't immediately say yes to whatever she suggests. You check your schedule. You propose something that works for you. You treat your time like it's valuable, because it is. She tries to get you to chase her. Maybe she pulls back a little, goes quiet for a day, tests to see if you'll panic, and you don't. You just keep living your life. You don't double text. You don't ask what's wrong. You just stay calm and let her come back when she's ready, because you're not desperate to keep her attention. You're fine either way, and that's the part that drives her crazy, because every other guy she's done that to, they folded, they chased, they begged for her to come back, but you didn't. You just existed without needing her validation, and that makes you different. There's a study done by a guy named Elliot Aronson back in the 1960s. He wanted to figure out what makes people more attracted to each other. So he ran experiments where people would meet someone new, and that person would either show consistent interest, consistent disinterest, or interest that grew over time. Guess which one created the most attraction? The growing interest. When someone started off neutral and then slowly warmed up, people found them way more attractive than someone who was interested from the beginning. Why? Because it felt earned. It felt real. It felt like they actually took the time to decide, okay, I actually like this person, instead of just handing out approval to anyone who showed up. That's what you're doing when you make her earn your interest. You're showing her that you're not just attracted to her because she's pretty or because she gave you attention. You're attracted to her because of who she actually actually is. And that's rare. Now, I need to be real with you for a second. If you're still struggling to figure out when a girl is genuinely interested versus when she's just keeping you around for attention, you need to check out my book, The Truth Detector. I break down every test women run, every game they play, and exactly how to know if she's serious or if you're wasting your time. It's the first link in the description. Grab it, because the worst thing you can do is spend months chasing a girl who is never gonna choose you. Alright, back to it. So, you're making her earn your interest. You're staying selective, but you're still missing something. You also have to show her that your interest is worth earning. Because if you're just some guy who's hard to impress but brings nothing to the table yourself, she's not gonna care. She's just gonna move on to someone who's actually worth the effort. So while you're making her work for you, you also need to be someone worth working for. That means having your life together, having goals, having hobbies, having friends, having something going on that doesn't revolve around women. When you have things going on, you're not obsessing over whether she texted back. You're just living. And when she does hear from you, it feels like a break in your day, not the highlight of it. That's the energy that keeps her hooked, because she can feel that you don't need her. You want her, sure, but you don't need her. And that's the difference between a guy she respects and a guy she uses for attention. But here's the brutal truth nobody wants to hear. Most guys are so desperate for a woman's approval that they'll twist themselves into knots trying to be whatever she wants. She mentions she likes guys who work out. Suddenly, he's at the gym every day. She says she wants someone ambitious. Now he's talking about business ideas he's never gonna start. But women can tell when you're performing, when you're trying too hard, when you're changing yourself to get their approval. And the second they sense that, it's over, because nobody respects someone who doesn't respect themselves enough to just be who they are. So here's what you do instead. You show up as yourself. No pretending. No trying to be the guy you think she wants. Just you, with your own opinions, your own standards, your own life. She says something you don't agree with, you don't nod along, you push back. Not aggressively, just honest. I don't know about that. I see it differently. And then you explain why. Most guys are terrified to do this. They think if they disagree with her, she'll get upset and leave. But here's what actually happens. She respects you more because you just showed her you're not afraid to be real with her. You're not just telling her what she wants to hear. And that creates something way deeper than attraction. It creates respect. And respect is what keeps her around long term. Let me tell you about my buddy Chris. Chris is not smooth. He's not a player. He's just a regular guy who figured this out way before I did. I watched him interact with women for years and couldn't figure out why they were always so into him. Then one night I saw it. We were at a party and this girl came up to him. Gorgeous. Way out of most guys' leagues. And she starts talking to him, clearly interested. She mentions she's an influencer, shows him her Instagram, starts talking about brand deals and sponsorships, and Chris just goes, "That sounds exhausting." Not mean, not judgmental, just honest. She stops, looks at him, and then laughs. It actually is. Nobody ever says that. And boom, right there. Connection. Real connection. Because he didn't do what every other guy does. He didn't pretend to be impressed. He just said what he actually thought, and she respected him for it. That's what I'm talking about. Being real doesn't mean being rude. It just means not filtering yourself to make her like you. It means trusting that if she's the right person, she'll like you for who you actually are. And if she doesn't, then she wasn't right for you anyway. But here's where this all comes together. When you stop validating her for free, when you make her earn your interest, when you stay true to yourself instead of performing, something shifts, not just in how she sees you, in how you see yourself. Because you're not begging anymore. You're not trying to convince her of your worth. You're just existing with confidence, with standards, with self-respect. And that energy, that's what women find impossible to resist. Think about the guys you know who always have options with women. I'm not talking about the players who manipulate and lie. I'm talking about the guys who just naturally do well. What do they all have in common? They don't need it. They want it, sure. They enjoy female attention, but they don't need it to feel good about themselves. They're fine either way. And that's exactly why women chase them. So the shift isn't just about how you act around her. It's about how you see yourself. It's about building a life that's so full, so satisfying, so complete that a woman becomes the cherry on top, not the whole dessert. And when you do that, when you genuinely get to that place, you won't have to try anymore. Women will just respond differently to you. They'll text you first. They'll make plans. They'll put in effort because they can feel that you're not like the other guys. You're not desperate. You're not needy. You're just a guy who knows his worth and isn't willing to settle for less than he deserves. So let me break down exactly what this looks like in the real world, because I know some of you are thinking, okay, I get the concept, but what do I actually actually do tomorrow when I'm texting this girl I like? Here it is. She texts you. Don't respond immediately. Wait until you're actually done with what you're doing. Finish your workout, finish your work, finish your conversation, then respond. Because your life doesn't stop the second she reaches out. She asks what you're doing. Don't say nothing much, even if you are. Say something real, just wrapped up at the gym or finishing up some work or about to meet up with a friend. Show her your life is full. Show her you have things going on that don't involve sitting around waiting for her. She sends a selfie fishing for compliments. Don't take the bait. Don't immediately say, "You're beautiful." Say something about the background. Where is that? Or just don't comment on it at all. React to it like you would a normal photo. She tries to make last minute plans. Hey, wanna hang out tonight? If you actually have nothing going on and you wanna see her, sure. But if it feels like she's just bored and you're the backup plan, say no. Can't tonight. Maybe this weekend if our schedules line up. Show her that your time requires notice. She goes quiet for a day or two. Don't panic. Don't double text. Don't ask if everything's okay. Just let it be. Keep living your life. She'll reach back out when she's ready. And if she doesn't, then you have your answer about how much she actually cared. This is what having standards looks like in practice. It's not about being cold. It's about being consistent. It's about treating yourself like you matter, even when she's testing whether you'll fold. And here's what happens when you do this. Not right away, not in the first day or even the first week, but over time, she starts to notice. She starts to see that you're not like the other guys. You're not chasing. You're not desperate. You're just solid. And that makes her curious. That makes her want to figure you out. Most guys give women their entire life story in the first conversation. They tell her everything, their past relationships, their insecurities, their goals, their fears. They think being vulnerable and open is the way to build connection. But you know what actually builds connection? Mystery. Giving her just enough to keep her interested, but not so much that there's nothing left to discover. Let her wonder about you. Let her ask questions. Let her work to figure out who you are. But everything I've told you today comes down to one simple idea. Stop giving your value away for free. Stop acting like her approval is the goal. Stop performing for her validation. Your attention matters. Your time matters. Your energy matters. And the right woman will see that and respect it. The wrong woman will get frustrated and leave. And when she does, let her go. Because you're not trying to be everything to everyone. You're trying to be the right fit for the right person. So here's what I want you to do. Next time you're with a woman you like, remember this. You're not auditioning for her. She's auditioning for you. You're not trying to prove your worth. She's trying to prove hers. You're not hoping she picks you. You're deciding if you pick her. That shift in mindset, that one change in how you see yourself will transform every interaction you have with women. Because when you stop chasing, when you stop performing, when you stop needing her approval to feel good about yourself, you become the kind of man women actually want. You don't get her by convincing her you're good enough. You get her by knowing you're good enough and making her prove she is too. YouTube thinks you'll really enjoy this video on your screen, so click on it and I'll see you there.